You're watching News 54.
IEBC Chairman Wanyonyi Wafula Chebukati is a clearly marked man for legal and political demolition should Raila Odinga and Karua's petition be upheld. The two have lined up 11 specific offences they claim Chebukati is guilty of and should be sufficient for him to be declared unfit to hold public office should the apex court rule in their favor. In their pleadings, the two argue that as the National Returning Officer of IEBC, Chebukati is guilty of the following: making entries which he knew to be false, contrary to Section 6A of the Election Offences Act No. 37 of 2016, that on 15th August 2022, he made false entries in Form 34C, which he knew were false, to declare William Ruto President-elect. The second offense being omitting to include results in breach of his official duty contrary to Section 6J of the Elections Offences Act No. 37 of 2016, being that Chebukati omitted to include the results of Forms 34A from polling stations and proceeded to declare a fraudulent result. Offense number 3, willfully contravening the law to give undue advantage to a presidential candidate contrary to Section 6I of the Election Offences Act. Indirectly procuring election materials in connection with the election without the authority of the Commission, contrary to Section 13E of the Elections Act. Obstructing election officers in the execution of their lawful duties, contrary to Section 13I of the Elections Act. Making a false statement, knowing the statement to be false, contrary to Section 13J of the Elections Act No. 37 of 2016. Publishing and disseminating information with the intention to influence the outcome of the election, contrary to Section 13J of the Elections Act. Intentionally altering the IEBC network and portal, contrary to Section 17B of the Election Offences Act. Altering information residing in the IEBC portal, knowing he is likely to cause wrongful loss or damage to the public, contrary to Section 17C of the Elections Act No. 37 of 2016. Knowingly inputting, altering, and deleting computer data with the intent that the result be considered or acted upon for legal purposes as if it were authentic, regardless of whether or not the data is directly readable and intelligible contrary to Section 17H of the Elections Act. Using his office to improperly confer a benefit on a presidential candidate, contrary to Section 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act No. 3 of 2003. That Chebukati used his office as the National Returning Officer to usurp the powers, duties, and responsibilities of commissioners and unilaterally and secretly tallied, verified, and declared to declare a fraudulent outcome. And that as a public officer, he is guilty of 8 ethical breaches, a summation that should render him unfit to hold public office, which could see Wafula Chebukati exit public office a condemned man, like the late Samuel Kivuitu, who was the last chairman of the defunct Electoral Commission of Kenya that was accused of bungling 2007 presidential election, resulting into post-election violence. Duncan Haemba, NTV.